Good afternoon, everybody. So, been a little bit since I've been able to do a video. I was just going to show you the progress that we're making. The fan just kicked on the heater. It's pretty chilly out there today. I think the temperature outside is about 29-30 degrees. So yesterday we installed, yesterday or 2 days ago, we installed this Mr. Heater. This was really a great thing. We were having a lot of trouble with keeping our room to temperature. Had to make some adjustments. We put insulation panels on the roof. And then on that gap there, we just filled all that with foam. Looks great, I know. Professional job. So the whole roof now is insulated except where we have light coming in. And then where the gap is between the tin roof and the insulation, we filled it all the way with, filled it up with foam. Or right there's a 2x4. But there's foam on this side. So these Mr. Heater things are just great because it's got on this dial here, you can adjust the temperature that you keep the room at, and this thing will cycle on and off. So kind of playing with it right now because there's no digital reading on it. I think I've got it real close to 65. The reason I know that, so this little guy right here is at 65. This is our backup heat just in case something happens and there's no heat coming off of that. And this will cycle off. So getting there. These are some of the trays that we've been doing. We're getting decent growth, starting to mat up. It really starts to thicken up. The best we've done on a tray so far has been 7.5 pounds. We haven't done that consistently. We've had some issues as we've come into winter and with cold. This one, we were just doing 2 at a time. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out to the chickens today because all of this in here, I think this is freeze damage, or not freeze, but just cold damage, and it's starting to smell. It's not. So we failed at this. We had a problem with keeping our room up to temperature. And the same thing here, very sparse. When you start to see, if I can get in there, these roots are starting to lay over. It just doesn't look very healthy. There's no reason to continue with it. That's what happens with the bottom. They mat up pretty good. These are some trays we started, and they're just starting to sprout. Pretty consistent across the tray. So that tells me that the whole tray is getting about the same amount of light. There was no sprouts yesterday, and these are just starting to come up. So now we're doing 4 pounds at a time. Here we've got 4 pounds in water here. And what I did is put 2 buckets together, and then I just drilled holes in this top bucket. And so when I take these out, all that water just will drain off into that lower bucket. Pretty efficient way. We got our scale up here, and we're writing down on our board when we're starting stuff. From a lot of the research I did, and I'm going to get all this cleaned up. I've got one project left, and I'm going to do a video later on when I do it. The pump down here is not cycling off. So we've got just like a 4.5 gallon a minute pump that comes in from our rainwater collection. And I was having plumbing issues, so I took that filter to the right of the pump out. That's a 100 filter. And that was a mistake because I think I've got it clogged. So I reinstalled that. But what it's supposed to do, come over here and turn it on. It should shut off. So when I turn this water on, you can hear the difference. It's running. But there's something clogging it. I shouldn't have to shut that switch off every time. It should, when it gets under pressure, it should just cycle off. So I think I've got some debris in there. I'll pull the head off and we'll see if we can't figure it out. The other thing we added, well, it was in, but we just got it working. So the stovepipe up here, you can see those slits in there. And right there, where that silver piece is, that's a 6-inch fan. So we're sucking all of the warm air off the top of the room. This room is at the roof is at a slope here. You can see it pretty good right there. So we're pulling all the warm air off, and then I've got where it goes out of the room, I've got some insulation in there, and I've got that completely plugged off. So the air is coming from the top, it's coming down this pipe, and it's discharging at the floor. So we're recycling the air. As soon as I figure out what's wrong with the pump, then we're going to be ready to go into full automated production with the water. When we were testing it, we were getting a lot of splatter, so I installed these shower curtains across the fronts, so that'll, when the sprinklers turn on, it keeps all the water where it's supposed to be. It keeps the room warm. So that's about it. We needed to get the room working, get plants going, see where we had holes in our game, and start to tighten it up. I think we're about there. Save the pump, but we'll figure that out. That's just pretty disappointing. So yeah, we'll get. Also, I was under the impression from the research I'd done online, we were looking at like 6 or 7 days to turn 1 pound of wheat seed into 6.5 to 7 pounds of fodder. That's not really been accurate. It's looking like it's going to take us closer to 10. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong, but I haven't discovered it yet. So that cuts the room back from doing 100 pounds a day to about 60 pounds a day once you divide the trays up, because we're able to do, in this setup right here, we can do 120 trays, so 12 trays at, optimistically 6 pounds. You're looking at 72 pounds there per day. But we'll see. It's starting to come together. I was able to go out. I'll back up. So I had bought this online. This is my seed. I got it from Montana Flower, I think. It's a 50-pound sack of hard red organic winter wheat. Been pretty good with, been pretty pleased with it. I'm located in Oklahoma. I did some research. I found somebody out in western Oklahoma where they grew wheat, and I'll show you. You'll have to excuse the mess out here. The shop has kind of taken second place to everything else we've had going on. I went out to western Oklahoma and I picked up these totes. These are 330-gallon totes. I was able to get them off with my skid steer, and it was like 11,800 pounds, right under 6 ton. So a lot more economical, less than half the price of going with the bags. It did take me a day to go out and do it, but it was, when you pick up 6 ton, that's worth your time. So as soon as the bag runs out, then we've got to play with getting the seed out. I'm pretty sure we'll figure out a way to do it, coming right out of that drainage right there. But we've got it. Those are food grade and non-translucent totes, and the person that I bought them from, they use them to ship in Everclear alcohol, so I was able to just power wash them and get them dried out, and that's what I'm using to store all my wheat in. So we've got them inside under cover. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. The one thing I am going to look into, and I don't have the answer yet with these, I might put a probe together and fill those bins with nitrogen, just to get all the oxygen out. But I'm not sure if there's a reason I can't. I need to research it before I do it. So yeah, anyway, it's coming along. Old barrel stove. It's been a lot more work to climatize in here than I thought it was going to be, but we're getting there. So anyway, that's where we're at now. When I get this pump figured out, I'll put this room into production, and we'll see if all this theory works. Talk to you later.